Okay, let's go.
Welcome to American Rants Unredacted, episode 1. So the first episode that I feel like I need to talk about is, as you can see on the screen, this guy. I'm not entirely sure how the algorithm works and if I'm able to say his name. I always see people changing his name and all this other stuff. So visual, that dude. What's been going on lately, I feel, as the story's dying down. There are a few choice content creators out there still talking about it, still digging, which is really good. I thought I would just kind of do like a recap on what's happened, what's currently going on, I guess, and just kind of go from there. So the first thing, let's just recap here. So he was arrested July 8th of 2019. We are sitting here in 2026 and still not a lot is going on. Dude went out the bitch way, if he went out the way they are telling us, and he ended up committing suicide, if we believe the report that the FBI and everyone is telling us. And he offed himself on August 10th of 2019. So, I mean, we all seen the footage. It kind of looked, there's a missing minute. There are things that just that don't add up. You had those random reports on, I forgot the website of the prison, the guard who said that he thinks that they swapped the body out. FBI was trying to hunt him down. I mean, that wasn't real, or it was just an opinion. I don't know why they were actively searching for the guy, but anyways, we had that. Then we got finally the file dump, but that was January 30th of 2026, so it took a while. From my current understandings, there's some weird stuff in that whole thing. I actually came across, I'm sure everyone's heard about it by now, but I literally came across the email where, the names were redacted, so I'm not sure who was really talking to who in this altercation, is what it seemed like to me. And basically they were going off about how Biden he was offed by firing squad. And what we had currently at the time was an actor with a mask. So, take that for what it's worth. Whether or not it's true, I have no idea, but I did see it. But you can rest assured that the FBI is on it. We'll get to it eventually when he's done drinking beer. There's actually, someone brought it up to me today, and I don't know how true it is. I'm going to have to dig into it a little bit later, but there's all these random reports that apparently he has a drinking problem, allegedly. I have no idea, but makes sense. I mean, kind of putting this kind of stuff off, or maybe he knows too much that he needs to drown it out of his mind. I don't know. It's possible, but dude can throw him down. So for right now, I mean, the case will just sit on a desk or a shelf in the FBI's evidence room, and it'll just remain a cold case because we're not getting any kind of justice for these victims. At least nothing's happening on our side, at least. And nothing happened. I mean, here's just like a scoreboard. I'm sure everybody saw it on X. That's kind of where I pulled it off of, for numbers of arrests for all these things. The Russian collusion hoax, January 6th. And Epstein PDF file arrests. One, but not in our country, which is a shame because, I mean, if we're trying to be the global leaders and police, we should be the ones doing, I believe, majority of, charging individuals, having the hearings, not private, because they like to do that. Not open courtroom, news media. Everyone needs to be able to see this to make sure justice is actually being done. So whether or not that's going to happen, I doubt it. I don't know. I like to think that it's going to happen. I like to think there are people out there with integrity to go after these individuals, but only time will tell. As of right now, no. Anyways, the one person who's being charged is Prince Andrew. Now, Prince Andrew, this is a picture that circulated with him and her Virginia Giuffre, I believe is how you say her name. She brought charges against Prince Andrew, but they ended up settling in a civil suit. So if it wasn't true, why settle? I don't know. Maybe just to get the story, to stop the story from spreading, I guess, or any kind of things coming out there. But anyways, civil suit happened and they settled. And then she randomly passed away. I believe it was an accident. She was hit by a bus in like the middle of nowhere. I believe she was in Australia. I don't know. She had that video coming out saying that she doesn't have a lot time to live. I'm sure everybody saw that. So there's a lot of weird things going on that. If you didn't catch it, there was a interview with Prince Andrew. I guess they weren't able to see it. He doesn't remember her. It never happened. That picture, they couldn't analyze it to see if it was AI or not. And I believe Giuffre mentioned a lot of things about like him sweating profusely all the time, and he came out saying he has a medical condition where he doesn't sweat like at all. The only thing I could find on that was something called what does that say? Anhidrosis, anhidrosis, meaning the lack of sweating. So it's a real thing, so maybe it was true, maybe it wasn't. Who knows? So, yeah, as I mentioned before, he was arrested for misconduct of public office February 19th of 2026. There are rumors that he was leaking information to Epstein. Why risk your title and all the backlash you're going to get from your country to just leak information to Epstein? I have no idea. I mean, I have an idea. I'm sure everyone else has an idea too why it happened, but so he was charged with that. But everyone's like, yeah, we got a score, but he's not being charged for anything that may or may not have happened allegedly on the island, the ranch, the Manhattan condo, or wherever, however many properties this dude had. But yeah, just misconduct in public office. So I don't really call that justice, really, but at least they're doing something over there in the UK, because over here, nothing's happening. Anyways, as you can see, ex-Prince Andrew arrested on his birthday over Epstein allegations. So, I mean, that was from the New York Post. But he looks innocent. He has the look of an innocent guy, and everyone's just harassing him. Oh, man, you don't harass royalty, ex-royalty. Which brings me to this guy. This guy, I'm not really figuring out of why he is in the position that he is. So everybody saw a couple days ago, Melania Trump came out and she did a press conference basically denying any thing to do with Epstein. Like they weren't friends. They didn't hang out. I mean, there were some emails of her and Ghislaine Maxwell that didn't. It didn't. I mean, I get the whole thing that she was saying, kind of like, just trying to be, nice and friendly and respond to an email, I believe, but it sounded way too friendly. But I don't know. I mean, time will tell. Trump didn't even know she was going to do this press conference. So he says, highly doubt it. But it brings me to this guy. So this is Paolo Zampoli. He is a ex-modeling agent. Had a very big modeling agency back in the day. And somehow that qualifies him for a very special, very made-up job for Donald Trump. Why? I don't know. But apparently this guy is the special envoy for global partnership. What the that even means, I do not know. And this dude has I don't know, maybe times were different back in the day. But let me pull this up and I'll read this to you. Let me read a little bit of this because some of this stuff is just, it's messed up. So, November 1999, journalist Jared Paul Stern wrote about a night out with Zampoli. Zampoli introduced him to his latest discovery, a 17-year-old girl. Jeez. Just arrived from Australia in New York for 1 week. Stern then described her comp card as depicting a sizzling temptress with arresting cleavage and bedroom eyes. What the flip? Sorry, I don't even know when I'm allowed to start swearing or not. I'm going to slip. I know it. I swear every day. I don't know. I just do. Anyways, but Zampoli was marketing a 17-year-old girl who had been in the country for 7 days using sexualized imagery. And these are all page 6s from the New York Post, just so you know. Other page 6 cripplings from the same period feature photos of a young girl under caption like fresh face and descriptions of them being newly discovered and available. I'm assuming for jobs, modeling. I hope. Anyways, let's see. Read them today, and they look less like gossip column items and more like advertisements. That's what I was thinking too. Another clipping from the same era was Zampoli spotted a 15-year-old ninth grader still attending high school in Miami. The paper described her as about to become the world's most popular ninth grader. Oh, man. Anyways, these are just some pictures of the news clippings. Also, I'd like to say I got this information, and allegedly all that good stuff was Kazoo Catherine. I'm sure if you're on X, a lot of people who have been looking into this have probably seen it by now, but that is just some creepy ads. And the fact that they would put that in there, I don't know, like I said, maybe it was different times. I don't know. Let's see. Another page 6 clipping was from the same period, featured photos of the... Okay, so I already read all that. So this was not hidden. It was a newspaper repeatedly with their faces. Almost like, what were those dating ads that you could put out there? Personals, personal ads or something like that. That's what it's seeming like, so... I don't know. Take with that with what you will. Moving on. So now comes Amanda Ungaro. Now, excuse me. Now she's been making a lot of noise on X. So her and Paolo were married at one point, and she was also like she held the title of Grenada Cultural Ambassador for Grenada. I need to look some of these titles up because I have no idea like really what that means or entails. But they divorced back in 2023. They do have a son. I believe she was remarried again, but let me read a little bit about her that I have, and maybe you'll see kind of why she's making some noise here. So in 2023, Amanda Ungaro, a Brazilian model who was brought to the United States on Jeffrey Epstein's plane. Now, this is an article from MSN. Take the news however you will. I mean, obviously, we know we don't always get the truth. As you're going to find out, like, for instance, let me just point this out. On Epstein plane when she was 16. X, I believe she said she was 17. So, take it with a huge grain of salt. And all this is allegedly. I don't know if any of this stuff that I'm saying or bringing up is true. I'm sure there are some truths in there, but allegedly. Okay. Anyway, so according to the article, she was brought on Epstein's plane when she was 16, was trying to build a new life in South Florida with her teenage son. Far removed from the modeling world, she had grown up in New York. 2 years later, Ungaro, at 41, was bound in handcuffs and thrown into an immigration detention center in Miami-Dade. I'm not sure what that means. I like that. Is that the Dade? Is that like a county or something? I don't know. In Miami-Dade, where she spent 3 months of misery before being abruptly transported to Louisiana and then deported back to Brazil. Now, she's been making a lot of noise on X with this, basically accusing Melania of knowing that she was there. She's been threatening things, which we'll get into. Let me just finish this up. Ungaro, a former diplomat in the first Trump administration, came to the attention of the police in April of 2024, where authorities received an anonymous tip that she and her husband, João, I'm not even going to say that last name, a Brazilian plastic surgeon, were conducting cosmetic procedures without a license at their wellness center in Aventura. So that's kind of like a backstory of this lady. This is just another article about, her arrest. And let's get into this next one that I have. Sorry, bear with me here. I don't know if you guys can tell. This is, like I said, my first episode, and I'm a little new to this. Hopefully I can start flowing a little bit better, but we will see. So, these are things that she has been saying online, on X. So, let me just read some of the things that she has been saying here. Careful with me, biatch. I'll expose everything. Melania's Epstein scandal blows up as Brazilian model trafficked by Epstein. Amanda Ungaro threatens to destroy Melania's life by exposing the truth. Amanda Ungaro unleashed a wave of public threats at Melania Trump just hours before her sudden White House statement denying, any Epstein connection. The timing has thrown everything into chaos. Ungaro says that she was brought to the United States when she was 17. So, like I said, who knows? 16 or 17, I guess. But she's been making a lot of claims. And, I mean, there are pictures of Trump and Melania, Paolo and Amanda from back in the day. So she's been around for a while. She's traveled in the same circles. She knows probably more than any of us will ever know. So, I don't know. There's been rumors that Paolo knew Melania and introduced her to Trump. And there are rumors that Epstein introduced Melania to Trump. Either way, if you're at a party, even she said she was at like a New York party, I forgot at what place, but even if that's true and she didn't know Trump or Trump didn't know her, someone introduced them. I don't know what the big deal is about who introduced her. So maybe you guys can shed some light on me. Let me know in the comments, like, why that is a big deal on who introduced them. But anyways, whatever. There's some more things on here. Apparently, if I remember correctly, I read somewhere that the Brazilian courts let the United States know that her son needs to be returned to her. I don't know if that's actually happened or not. So her kid not with her. She's been deported. All of her friends are turning her back on her. She believes that Paolo went to Trump and them went to... I have that dude's name written down somewhere. Give me 1 second. So basically, some higher up ICE agent. Apparently, they made a plan with a man named David Venturilla. And apparently, Pam Bondi knew as well. And once she was arrested, that was just like a green light for them to detain her. For ICE to detain her and then deport her. Maybe, I don't know how everything was going on in the divorce or how they were doing custody, or maybe he didn't want to pay child support. Maybe. I think... No, it's alimony. So maybe he didn't want to pay child support or alimony, but she was married, so alimony would have been gone. So maybe it's just child support and he just didn't want to pay it, and yeah. She's deported now. Anyways, and she's deported and she doesn't have her kid with her. So she wrote, "I have nothing to lose in my life. I will tear down the entire system. So be careful with me, biatch." Again. She followed with, "I will tear down your corrupt system. Even if it is the last thing I do in my life, I will go all the way. I am not afraid. Maybe you should be afraid of what I know of who you are and who your husband is. I have known you for 20 years. You knew I was detained in ICE. Ungaro's deportation came after Zampoli, contacted the top ICE official. I gave you the name already. Apparently, they were doing a custody battle at the time, so he just didn't want to do that, I guess. So yeah, a lot of weird things are coming out. Whether they're true or not, I don't know. Let's see what else we have on here. So apparently the government claimed that her visa had expired, calling political interference claims false. Melania insists she never knew Epstein, never flew on his plane, never visited the island, but photos and emails reveal otherwise. So, whether or not that's true, who knows? This is my problem, though. There was a post, and I saw, there was a reply. I saw, if you go to Amanda Ungaro on X, this is the weird thing. Okay, so I heard her name, and I went to her profile. I started looking at all her posts. I started going through all of them, and this was late at night, and I was like, I'll come back to it in the morning. I'm tired. So I went back to it in the morning. All of her posts were deleted. All of it. Replies were still there, but all the posts were deleted. Now, I know I saw somebody. See, this one, it doesn't really show... it just shows someone's opinion on her comment, but somebody said, "Tell us more about Melania." And she said, "Really? For free? Idiot." My problem is, 1, the posts were deleted. 2, it doesn't have a picture of her on there. 3, it has the blue check mark, but Elon made it so everybody can buy the check mark if they want to. So how do we know if this is real or not? I guess we'll find out if any credible information comes out, and we'll just have to wait and see. But the fact that people, if she has like all this damning evidence and she knows what's been going on in the inner circles, and she wants to be paid for it instead. I mean, I understand, like, okay, yeah, you want to get something out of it, like get your kid or something. But at the same time, do none of these people have any goddamn integrity to try and help out these victims or expose like what's going on? Like how everyone's been saying it all over the place. We're being ruled by PDF files and Satan worshipers. If that's true, I mean, like, I feel like people have a moral obligation to come out and go ahead and release all this stuff. But anyways, there was another post that came out a couple days ago. When are you spilling the tea on Melania? She said, yes, soon. CNN International. So we'll see if anything comes of that. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. All I know is a lot of shitty things have fucking happened. At least in my area, I haven't seen any protests to, one, demand the release of the other 3 million files, or any kind of protest to get justice for the victims. So, I don't know. I'm just hoping the story doesn't die. I'm hoping people still care. And I'm hoping everybody and anybody would be held accountable for what has happened in the past. And I say this all the time. If Trump was in on it as well, he needs to be removed. It's just how it is. Sorry, man. If you're in all that shit, you got to go. And there's certain things also. I don't know if anyone else has ever wondered this, but I've read quite a bit of the emails that the DOJ dropped, and a few of the accounts from all the girls that were brought in. It usually started the same way. They were brought in, introduced. They sat in the kitchen and met the cook. So the cook was there all the time. In at least 3 of the stories that I met, like the fact that people, one, I guarantee they knew what was going on. I know they knew what was going on, and they didn't feel the need to fucking report it or stop it or any of it. Just fucking makes me goddamn sick. But the Dow is up. Remember that. Anytime you feel like this country is not going the way it should be, the Dow is up. Pam Bondi said so, and she's gone now. So, I don't know. So, again, first episode. Let me know how I did. I know I got to make it a little bit smoother. Probably, I don't know. It's my first one. So, if you're going to criticize me in the comments, at least make it constructive. And, yeah, like, share, subscribe. I'd appreciate it. I'm going to try this whole YouTube thing. And, yeah, also, I do have, like, shorts. Like I mentioned in the intro, that I'm drawn to conspiracies more. But what's going on in the everyday world is a huge concern to me as well. I'm not sure how I'm going to balance all of that in this one channel. Maybe I got to branch off, make 2. I don't know. I went from deciding to do 2 to trying to do it in 1, and maybe I'll find a balance to this. Who knows? But, yeah, again, like, share, subscribe, and comment. I at least say, like, if you're going to say one thing negative, at least say one thing positive, maybe. Anyways, I'll catch you next time. The next one that I'm working on is just kind of a recap like this. It's going to be everything that's going on in Iran from the beginning. We'll start with the initial strike, some of the things that have come up, and just my personal opinion on it. But, yeah, other than that, I'll just catch you guys next time, and later.